Mm, FA, AP, AR, IC. Okay. Okay. Only these modules we will have a period closing activity entry. Okay. First one is GL. We call it as general ledger. Okay. Second one is fixed assets module. Third one is accounts payable module. Accounts receivable ER. So last one is intercompany. Okay, if the client is having all these modules, then we need to follow some sequence. Along with these, we have another module, cash management. Call it as CM. We have a cash management module. Periodic closing activities is applicable to all these modules except cash management. Okay. In cash management, we don't have any period closing activity. Keep remember. Okay. Applicable. Yes. This will be non. Apart from this, client will use other subledger modules from the file, procurement or supply chain management. But there we don't have any controlling about period closing activity. So period closing activity is not applicable to procurement and supply chain management areas. And those are not applicable to us, but I'm just giving highlight. Okay. They are not going to perform any period closing activity. Only the finance consultants, finance side, we have this activity. Okay, so here the cash management, there is no period closing activity and though it is covered under finance. Keep it remember. And rest of the modules, we have a period closing activity. Okay. And who is going to take care about period closing activity and so in a support project, if you are working as a support engineer, as an IT consultant, so we call it a support engineer when you are supporting to, you know, BA activities, business as usual process. So once we have done the implementation, so that project we are going to call as support project. Support means when the users are creating any transactions in the application, if they face any challenges in the process, guidance if they require, or if they are facing about bugs or errors relating to applications, so they will raise a ticket to us and we have to work with them to close the issues. So during this process, every month, this period closing activity will be performing. So few of the clients will be taken care by the end users. So end users, some of the end users will be taken care about period closing activities. So they will close and open the periods. But few of the clients will not be taken care of this period closing activity. As a support team, as a IT team, support team, we have to take care about period closing activity. Okay. So we just have a communication with the business key users. Okay. On which day we are going to close and which day we are going to open, and on what day we are going to close subledgers, or what day we are going to close main GL modules. So all these information we will agreed with the business key users before performing. So we will follow the same process. Okay, every month and day. So this process we should be documented and agreed with the client, since it is a very sensitive activity. Okay, so sometimes we might need some approvals also to closing and opening. So that process, everything we will be discussed with the client and document everything. Okay, and follow the process strictly without deviating any approvals. Okay, so this process, period closing activity, can be handled by support team or business users. Depends on the client, and if the client is having experts about the period closing process, the key users, then they will take care. Otherwise, this is our responsibility to be taken care. So in my project, we are taking care about the period closing process. 100% responsibility is support team taking care. Okay. Now let's see the sequence and first, which module we have to close. Suppose if the client is using all these modules, general ledger, fixed assets, accounts payable, accounts receivable, intercompany, cash management. So cash management you can ignore, no need of period closing activity. But if the client is having intercompany, 100% you should start the closing activity from intercompany and sequence one and in this case. Okay, if the client is having intercompany module, then you start with the closing activity from intercompany sequence one. Then sequence two will be AR module, then AP module, then fixed assets, and finally general ledger అండి. సో జనరల్ లెడ్జర్ అనేది లాస్ట్ లో క్లోజ్ చేసుకుంటాం. ఓకేనా, ఫస్ట్ మీరు సబ్ లెడ్జర్ తో స్టార్ట్ చేస్తారు. ఇఫ్ ఇంటర్ కంపెనీ ఇస్ దేర్, దెన్ ఓన్లీ వీ విల్ స్టార్ట్ విత్ ఇంటర్ కంపెనీ మాడ్యూల్. ఇఫ్ ద క్లయింట్ ఈస్ నాట్ సబ్స్క్రైబ్ ద ఇంటర్ కంపెనీ, నాట్ యూజింగ్ ఇంటర్ కంపెనీ మాడ్యూల్, then we are not going to touch intercompany module. Then the sequence will be starting with the accounts receivable one, then accounts payable second, third is fixed assets you need to close, fourth one is general ledger. So this way you need to check, depends on the applicability of modules. Any questions on this so far? ఓకే, క్లయింట్ కనుక ఈ 5 modules ని యూజ్ చేస్తుంటే మనము we will start with closing of period closing activity from ఇంటర్ కంపెనీ అండి. ఇంటర్ కంపెనీలో పీరియడ్ క్లోజ్ చేసిన తర్వాత దెన్ అకౌంట్స్ రిసీవబుల్ లో పీరియడ్ క్లోజింగ్ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తాం. అక్కడ కంప్లీట్ అయిన తర్వాత అకౌంట్స్ పేబుల్ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తాం. అకౌంట్స్ పేబుల్ కూడా క్లోజింగ్ యాక్టివిటీ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత దెన్ we will start with the fixed assets అంటే ఫిక్స్డ్ అసెట్స్ కూడా కంప్లీట్ అయిన తర్వాత ఫైనల్లీ జనరల్ లెడ్జర్ ని మనం టచ్ చేస్తాం. జనరల్ లెడ్జర్ క్లోజింగ్ అనేది స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది. అదే కనుక ఇఫ్ ద క్లయింట్ ఈస్ నాట్ యూజింగ్ దిస్ ఇంటర్ కంపెనీ మాడ్యూల్, okay, he is having only these 4 modules right in the hand, then period closing activity starting from accounts receivable first, accounts payable first, second, then